Hello everyone. First up, we have
Don't charge your battery overnight because it will damage the battery.
Now whoever told you this, just share my video with them. The belief that charging your devices overnight is damaging to the battery has become a common concern. Many worry that leaving their gadgets plugged in will lead to shortened battery life and potential long-term harm. To understand the truth behind this myth, let's get a grip on how modern batteries work. Most devices like smartphones and laptops are equipped with lithium-ion batteries, which are designed to manage their own charging cycles. One of the reasons overnight charging became a concern is the notion of overcharging. However, modern devices are designed to stop charging once they reach 100%, preventing overcharging from occurring. Some devices implement trickle charging once they hit 100%. This means they deliver small, controlled bursts of energy to keep the battery level stable. It's not continuous high-voltage charging that could cause harm. Smartphones and laptops have built-in battery management systems that control charging patterns and ensure the battery operates within safe parameters, including avoiding overcharging. Contrary to the myth, lithium-ion batteries don't fare well when they're constantly discharged to low levels. Charging your device overnight can actually help keep the battery in a healthier state by preventing deep discharges. Heat is the real enemy of battery life. Leaving your device plugged in overnight might generate heat, but it's unlikely to be enough to cause significant damage. It's high temperatures that have a more negative impact. Most modern devices incorporate advanced charging technologies that adjust the charging rate based on various factors. This dynamic charging helps prolong battery life by preventing overloading. While overnight charging might not be as harmful as believed, your charging habits still influence battery longevity. Frequent shallow charges are better than letting the battery consistently drain to low levels. Batteries are consumables, and their capacity naturally degrades over time. It's normal for a battery to show reduced performance after a certain number of charge cycles, regardless of how you charge it. In conclusion, the myth that charging devices overnight damages batteries is largely unfounded. Modern devices are equipped with technologies that protect batteries from the effects of overcharging. While there's no need to fear overnight charging, adopting good charging habits can still help extend your device's battery life. To maximize your battery's lifespan, charge your device when it's convenient. Unplug it once it's reached 100 and avoid exposing it to extreme heat. The next myth is that
Macs are immune to malware.
Oh really? I just hacked your Mac. Just kidding. The myth that Macs are immune to malware is widespread, often leading users to believe that their Apple devices are impervious to any form of cyber attack. While it's true that Macs have certain security advantages, they're by no means invulnerable. To understand the origins of this myth, we need to go back to a time when Windows PCs were more susceptible to malware due to their larger user base. This led to the perception that Macs were immune simply because they were less targeted. As Macs gained popularity, cybercriminals began to shift their focus. In recent years, the number of malware attacks targeting Macs has been steadily rising. This shows that attackers adapt their tactics to the changing landscape. Apple does take security seriously and integrates various security features. These include Gatekeeper, XProtect, and Sandboxing, which help protect users from downloading and executing malicious software. However, these measures are not foolproof. Let's talk about some real-world examples. Over the years, Macs have fallen victim to malware such as Trojans, adware, ransomware, and phishing attacks. The concept that Macs are immune has been shattered by these incidents. While Apple's built-in security features help, users often rely on third-party applications. If these apps have vulnerabilities, they can provide an entry point for attackers, regardless of the underlying operating system. The human element is often the weakest link in cybersecurity. Scammers use social engineering to trick users into giving away sensitive information or installing malware. This is a universal vulnerability that affects all platforms, including Macs. Apple regularly releases software updates that include security patches. Ignoring these updates can leave your Mac vulnerable to known exploits. Regular updates are crucial to maintaining your device's security. So, in conclusion, the myth that Macs are immune to malware is just a myth. While Macs do have security advantages and a lower malware infection rate compared to some other platforms, they are not invincible. Cybercriminals are adaptable and will target any vulnerable system. To stay safe online, regardless of your device, follow best practices. Use strong, unique passwords. Be cautious of suspicious links and downloads. Keep your software updated and consider using reputable security software. The next myth is that
Closing background apps saves battery.
To understand this myth, we need to break down how modern smartphones and operating systems work. Modern smartphones are designed to multitask efficiently. They're like mini computers, capable of running multiple apps simultaneously. When you switch from one app to another, the system doesn't necessarily shut down the previous app completely. Let's say you're using your favorite messaging app and you decide to check your emails. You switch to the email app, but the messaging app doesn't just vanish. Instead, the messaging app moves into the background, where it's frozen and uses very minimal resources. This allows you to switch back to it quickly without waiting for it to relaunch. So the big question, does closing background apps actually save battery? Here's the truth. Manually closing background apps might actually use up more battery than you'd think. When you close an app and then later reopen it, your device has to use extra power to fully load the app, initialize its resources, and refresh the content. Imagine this. You're constantly reopening apps that you forcefully closed. It's like shutting down your computer and turning it back on every time you need to use a program. It's not very efficient, right? On the other hand, when an app is running in the background, the system manages its resources more intelligently. It knows when to temporarily halt processes that aren't needed, which actually conserves battery. Of course, there are exceptions. Some apps might be misbehaving and consuming too much power in the background. In those cases, manually closing them could help. So, the next time you hear someone say that closing background apps will miraculously save your battery, you can now confidently say that it's just a myth. Remember, the best ways to save battery include adjusting screen brightness, using Wi-Fi instead of mobile data when possible, and disabling features like location services when you don't need them. The next myth is that
The more cores your processor has, the faster your computer will be.
Let's kick things off by addressing the myth that more cores automatically mean a faster processor. It's easy to assume that a central processing unit with more cores will outperform its counterparts. But there's much more to the story. To understand this better, let's break down what cores are. Cores are individual processing units within a central processing unit that can execute tasks independently. However, more cores don't necessarily translate to a linear increase in performance. The concept of parallelism is key here. Some tasks can be split into smaller subtasks and executed simultaneously across multiple cores, improving efficiency. But not all software can take full advantage of multiple cores, leading to potential underutilization. While cores play a role, clock speed, measured in gigahertz, is equally important. Clock speed determines how quickly a single core can process instructions. A balance between cores and clock speed is crucial for overall performance. Different tasks have different requirements. Single-threaded tasks rely on a single core, emphasizing clock speed, while multi-threaded tasks can leverage multiple cores. An overly core-heavy processor might excel in multi-threaded tasks, but lag behind in single-threaded performance. Software plays a pivotal role. Well-optimized software can make the most of multiple cores, while poorly optimized software might not utilize them efficiently. This means a processor with more cores won't automatically make all software faster. Here's the kicker. The law of diminishing returns comes into play. As the number of cores increases, the benefit from each additional core diminishes, and the accompanying complexities can even slow things down in some cases. Your workload matters. If you're into gaming or basic tasks, a quad-core or hexa-core central processing unit with higher clock speeds might be more suitable than a high-core count central processing unit. On the other hand, professionals working with video editing or 3D rendering can benefit from more cores. A balanced combination of cores, clock speed, and software optimization is what truly defines a central processing unit's performance. Before choosing a processor, it's crucial to consider your specific needs and workload requirements. The next myth is
Private social media accounts are completely private.
the illusion that a private social media account guarantees total privacy and security is pervasive. However, there are layers of complexity that often go unnoticed. Let's start by understanding the fine print. Social media platforms have terms and policies that outline how your data is used, shared, and accessed. Even with privacy settings, your data may be more accessible than you think. Privacy settings often allow friends to see your content. But what about their friends? Many platforms allow friends of friends to view and interact with your posts, potentially widening your audience beyond your intended circle. Private or not, social media platforms collect vast amounts of data about your online behavior. This data fuels targeted advertising. And sometimes, even with privacy settings, your information might be shared with third parties. No platform is immune to data breaches. If a platform's security is compromised, even your private information could be exposed. Remember, your data's security isn't solely in your hands. Screenshots and sharing are digital realities. Even if you have tight privacy settings, someone can take a screenshot of your content and share it with others, potentially circumventing your intended privacy. Legal and governmental authorities can access your data under certain circumstances, even if you consider your account private. Your data might be subpoenaed for legal investigations. Some posts automatically tag your location, revealing more than you might intend. Location data can be mined and used in ways that might surprise you. Third, party apps and integrations often ask for access to your social media accounts. While convenient, this can compromise your privacy by sharing your data with other services. Your digital footprint extends beyond your profile. Information you've shared or been tagged in, even on private accounts, can be accessed by others and contribute to your online presence. Hackers and scammers can use information from your social media accounts for social engineering attacks. Even private accounts might leak valuable personal information. What you share online, even privately, can influence your online reputation and affect personal and professional relationships. So, the myth that private social media accounts are completely private and secure is debunked. While privacy settings offer some control, there are numerous factors that can compromise your online privacy. Being informed and practicing cautious sharing are essential. How many bars are on your network while watching this video? The next myth is that
More bars will give you a better and faster connection.
Let's start by addressing the common misconception that more bars always signify superior cellular service and faster Wi-Fi. While it's a convenient rule of thumb, the reality is far more nuanced. It's crucial to understand the difference between signal strength and signal quality. More bars primarily indicate signal strength, how well your device can connect to the network, but not necessarily the quality of that connection. Even with full bars, network congestion can affect your data speeds and call quality. More users on the network means shared bandwidth, leading to slower speeds, dropped calls, and buffering. Physical obstacles such as walls and buildings can weaken your signal, even with strong signal strength. Similarly, Wi-Fi signals can be affected by interference from other devices and networks. On the Wi-Fi front, signal strength doesn't always equate to faster speeds. Your Wi-Fi bandwidth is what truly determines how quickly data can be transferred, and signal strength is only part of that equation. Network technology matters. Your device might show full bars, but if you're on an older network technology, you won't experience the same speeds as those on newer networks. Signal boosters and repeaters might seem like a solution, but they can amplify a weak signal along with its quality issues, making it a double-edged sword. Sometimes, more bars can be a false indicator. Rogue Wi-Fi networks with similar names to trusted ones might show up, leading you to unknowingly connect to an insecure network. To truly gauge performance, you need to measure actual speed and quality using tools like speed tests and network analyzers. In conclusion, the myth that more bars mean better cellular service and faster Wi-Fi is debunked. It's essential to consider factors beyond signal strength, such as network congestion, technology, and interference. Have you ever used airplane mode? The next myth is that it's only used when flying. While it's indeed essential during air travel, this feature has a range of benefits in various everyday scenarios. Airplane mode was designed to turn off wireless communication functions on your device. It disables cellular, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth connections, all of which can be useful even when you're not flying. One of the most practical uses of airplane mode is conserving battery life. When you're in an area with poor signal or no need for constant connectivity, enabling airplane mode can significantly extend your device's battery. Need some distraction? Free time to concentrate or relax? Airplane mode can help you disconnect from notifications and stay focused on your tasks or enjoy quality downtime. Believe it or not, activating airplane mode while charging can speed up the charging process. With fewer active connections, your device expends less energy and charges up faster. While it's not exclusively for flights, airplane mode is crucial when traveling internationally to avoid expensive roaming charges. It lets you use your device for other purposes without incurring high fees. In areas with weak signals, your device works harder to find and maintain a connection. Airplane mode can help by temporarily disabling these energy-consuming efforts. When connected to public Wi-Fi networks, enabling airplane mode can add an extra layer of security by cutting off potential avenues for hackers and cyberattacks. Meetings, presentations, or important conversations. Airplane mode ensures your device doesn't interrupt or create awkward moments with unexpected calls or notifications. In emergency situations, when you need to preserve your device's battery for communication, airplane mode can be a lifesaver, allowing you to make essential calls or send messages. In conclusion, the myth that airplane mode is solely for flying is debunked. This versatile feature offers benefits that extend far beyond air travel, from saving battery life to enhancing security. The belief that more expensive HDMI cables automatically translate to better audio and video quality. Let's kick things off by addressing the common misconception that spending more on HDMI cables guarantees superior audio and video performance. While it seems plausible, there's more to this story than meets the eye. HDMI cables transmit digital signals, meaning they either work perfectly or don't work at all. There's no room for quality variation as with analog cables. HDMI cables transmit data through ones and zeros. As long as the cable meets the minimum specifications, signal integrity remains intact, regardless of price. HDMI cables are standardized, with different versions like HDMI 1.4 and 2.0. As long as your cable supports the required version, you're set for optimal performance. Longer HDMI cables might experience signal degradation, but this isn't about cable quality. It's about the limitations of signal strength over distance. Some expensive HDMI cables boast gold-plated connectors marketed as enhancing signal quality. In reality, gold plating offers minimal benefit in digital connections. Look for HDMI cables certified by organizations like HDMI Licensing LC. These certified cables meet stringent quality and performance standards. To conclude, the myth that more expensive HDMI cables offer superior quality is debunked. Affordable cables that meet standards perform just as well. The next myth is that
More megapixels mean better camera quality.
Well, that wasn't the case when I made this video. Are you ready to uncover the truth? Let's get started. To begin, let's clarify what megapixels actually are. A megapixel is 1,000,000 pixels, and pixels are the tiny dots that make up an image. It's tempting to think that a higher megapixel count will automatically lead to sharper and more detailed photos, but there's more to the story. Contrary to the common belief, a camera's quality is not solely determined by its megapixel count. Other factors such as sensor size, lens quality, and image processing play a crucial role in capturing stunning photos. One of the most important factors in photography is the sensor size. A larger sensor allows more light to be captured, resulting in better low-light performance and dynamic range. Even a high megapixel count on a small sensor can lead to noisy and less impressive images. The quality of the lens is another critical component. A high-quality lens can make a significant difference in image clarity and sharpness. More megapixels won't mask the limitations of a subpar lens. In fact, it might even emphasize them. Image processing plays a crucial role in modern photography. Cameras with advanced processing capabilities can optimize colors, reduce noise, and enhance overall image quality. However, cramming too many pixels onto a sensor can lead to increased noise and slower processing times. Let's talk about practicality. While a high megapixel count might be beneficial for specific professional applications like large format printing or detailed cropping, for most everyday uses, it's often unnecessary and can lead to larger file sizes that consume more storage. In reality, the best camera isn't solely defined by the number of megapixels it has. It's about finding the right balance between megapixels, sensor size, lens quality, and processing capabilities that suit your photography need. To drive home the point, let's take a look at some side buy-side comparisons between cameras with varying megapixel counts. You'll see that factors like color accuracy, sharpness, and low-light performance can differ significantly, regardless of the megapixel count. So, there you have it. The myth that more megapixels mean better camera quality is officially debunked. While megapixels do play a role, they're just one piece of the puzzle. A camera's true quality comes from the harmony of all its components working together. Remember, when shopping for a camera, consider factors beyond megapixels to ensure you get the best possible photography experience. As always, thanks for watching. That's it for today's myth-busting adventure. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And as always, stay curious and keep questioning those tech myths.